Okay. Now, okay, now, there we go. Shabbat Shalom. Nice to see you all on this. Okay. On this, now, I'm going to see if, ask you if you're connecting to be aware whether your microphone is on or not. There we go. Okay. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, nice to see you all on this. Okay. Oh, phooey. No. I'm going to oh, goodness. Ask you if you're connecting to be aware whether your microphone is on or not. Okay. Hello. Yeah. Oh, nice to see you all. Just a moment, please. No. Oh, goodness. Ask you if you're connecting to be aware whether your microphone is
Laura, you're muted.
I know, Frank. I'm just trying to figure out one little thing that was missing. Okay. I'm hoping I'm not going to get
Laura, you're muted.
I know, Frank. I'm just trying to figure out one little thing that was missing.
Shabbat Shalom.
Bear with me for a moment. I just have to find that last piece of information that's not on the instructions I have. Just a minute. Okay, let's try this again. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Let's hope that doesn't feed back. That's one thing I'm worried about. Okay, let's try this again. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. No, this is it. This is what needs to be muted.
I've been telling you that this whole time.
Let's hope that doesn't feed back. That's one thing I'm worried about. Okay. All right. Okay, let's try this again. Thank you. I think I got it. All right. This is it. Thank you all. This is what needs to be muted. Okay. Thank you all. I think I took care of it. That's one thing I'm worried about. Okay. All right. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. I did it. That's the sign I did it. Thank you. Woohoo! Thank you for your I think I got it. All right. Thank you all. Okay. Thank you all. I think I took care of it. That's one thing I'm worried about. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's try this again. There we go. I did it. That's the sign I did it. Thank you. Woohoo! Thank you for your I think I got it. All right. Thank you all. Okay. Thank you all. I think I took care of it. That's one thing I'm worried about. Okay. All right. You guys are very kind. Thank you. Followed all the instructions I have. So, Shabbat Shalom. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about later on is from this week's Parsha, and that concept of bringing a sense of understanding. You guys are very kind. Thank you. Followed all the instructions I have. So, Shabbat Shalom. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about later on is from this week's Parsha, and that concept of I'm so sorry. I'm going to just make a quick call, and to make sure I can take care of this. All right. I'm hoping that does it. Okay. I'm going to start again, and I think I'm set. Okay. I think so. Thank you. Bye. Okay. Hooray. I think we're good. Anyway, thank you all again for your patience and kindness and understanding. That is a theme we're going to hear a little bit more about. Oops. And Josh Breslau, if you need, and Perseverance, thank you, Dale and Lynn. And if you need, and Josh, if you need to make me host one more time, I'll put us up on YouTube and we'll be back on. Because you don't have the password, so you need me to do that. Thank you. Okie doke. It says stop live stream. Oh, we should be on YouTube. Yes, we are. All right, we're good.
Yeah.
And Josh, just make sure your sound is off. Okay. All right, I'll skip the introduction then. I wanted to welcome not only all of you here whose lovely faces I see in these boxes in front of me, but a couple special guests tonight. If you tuned in last week, you heard the enchanting voice of Joey Breslau, a son of this congregation. And you'll see this young man with a mustache and at the piano in his home, and he is going to be sharing some of the service with us tonight and leading us with his extraordinary voice. We've got his dad at the controls, and also Lenore Wasidlo, who those of you who have loved Mostly Musical, and I've heard some people say, oh, I miss Mostly Musical. Well, we wanted to bring Lenore in tonight, and so we can watch her while if you adjust the size of your screen, or regardless, you'll be able to see Lenore a little bit bigger if you would like, because she will be spotlighted when the time comes for us to sing the Shema and open up our eyes. So at this point, I'd like to turn us over to the Breslau family, who will lead us in the words of Shalom Aleichem. We can advance the first slide. And Joey, take it away.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lachem Shalom, Malchei Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech המלכים, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון. מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון. מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Whew. Boy, what a mood setter, Joey. And we'll invite your family to now lead us in candle lighting, the blessing for children, the blessing for all of us, and the Kiddush. Amen. Shalom. And we continue with Kiddush. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher קידשנו מצוותיו ורצנו, ושבת קודשו ואהבנו רצון קיימנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית. יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. קיבלנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך ואהבה ורצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen. Well, you know, the ultimate reward in this kind of work is when people make what we do in the synagogue part of their lives. And thank you for bringing us into your homes and into your lives and having us share this together. So we can advance to the next slide as you're ready for a medley of Shabbat psalms. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Lechuneranana l'Adonai, nahari al tzur yishenu, nekadema fana b'todah, bizmirot nariya lo. Lechuneranana l'Adonai, nahari al tzur yishenu, nekadema fana b'todah, bizmirot nariya lo. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umalo. 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 Ya'alo Sadai v'chol asher bo, Ya'alo Sadai, Alalayadai, Ya'alo Sadai v'chol asher bo, Ya'alo Sadai. Ay 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 ay, az yiradenu kol atzei ya'ar, az yiradenu kol atzei ya'ar, az yiradenu kol atzei ya'ar, az yiradenu kol atzei ya'ar. Ya'alo Sadai v'chol asher bo, Ya'alo Sadai, Ya'alo Sadai v'chol asher bo, Ya'alo Sadai, ya. Let's advance it straight to Lachado D, please. Lachado D, likrat kala p'nei Shabbat, nekabala. Lachado D, likrat kala p'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, ishmiyanu el ha'meyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem tiferet v'li tila. Lechadodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki mekor ha'beracha, merosh mikadem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila. Lechadodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat, nekabela. If you'd like to rise, please do so. Bo'ii v'shalom ateret bala, gam v'simcha u'v'tzohala, toch emunei am segula. Bo'ii chala לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה. If you are comfortable doing so, please rise for the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadav v'yitkadash shemei rabba v'yalamad yivrach yirteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael bagala bagala u'vizman kariv yimeru amen. Yehi shemei rabba mevorach le'olam le'almei almaya yiparach Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitromam v'yitaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran v'yalma v'yimeru amen. Ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la ya la 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 ya la ya la la ya la ya la ya Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach Baruch Adonai Vorach Leolam Vaed. May I have a seat? And we'll continue. Please join. Bless Adonai, who spins day into dusk. With wisdom, watch the dawn gates open. With understanding, let time and seasons come and go. With awe, perceive the stars in lawful orbit. Morning dawns, evening darkens, darkness and light yielding one to the other, yet each distinguished and unique. Marvel at life, strive to know its ways, seek wisdom and truth, the gateways to life's mysteries. Wondrous indeed is the evening twilight. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv Aravim. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbeinu u'v'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu u'bahem negei yomam v'layla ve'avatecha al tisir mimenu li'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. And I just find, where are you? I'm trying to find Lenore. Just a moment. Lenore Wasidla, where did you go? Okay, Lenore was on here, but she must have somehow been bounced off. So please remember, if you can, those of you who've been to Mostly Musical, how wonderfully expressive it was to see Lenore with Sidlow. Oh, she's in the waiting room. To see Lenore with Sidlow. There we go. To see Lenore with Sidlow open up our eyes with the beauty and the expressiveness of her signing. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Let me see if we have Lenore back. Are you there? No. Okay. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. We will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Let's please join together. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'adecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Adonai Elohechem emet. Again, let's please read together. There is no singing without God. God's glory fills the whole world. To realize this is within our reach and too often beyond our grasp. There is no music, no worship, no love. When we take the world's wonders for granted, let us open our eyes and rejoice. Let us open our hearts and sing. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder lo tosefele, noratehi lo tosefele. Can we take the next slide, please? מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, תהלי ענו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאללה יאללה לילה לה 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 ונאמר כיפד אדוני את יעקב גואלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. I'm going to go back to spotlighting Joey, who will be leading us in Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. 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 Ushmor tzedkenu uvoenu lechaim ushalom ve'ata ve'adolam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim.
We continue, please, with Vishamru. Just imagine you're in the sanctuary for mostly musical. Oh, let's say the bracha before we finish. Baruch Ata Adonai, Haporei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu.
Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Amen.
Shamaru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, זאת את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
If it's comfortable for you to rise, please do so as we begin with Adonai Sfatai and into the body of the Amidah. Joey, it's yours.
Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufia Yitzilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Avotenu Bimotenu Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah האל הגדול הגיבור הנורא העליון גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחלל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומכיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בגבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחייב, ומצליח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהדות הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We can continue together. If you'd like to be seated, please do so. Let us hallow the Sabbath day and let us keep it in remembrance of creation and the covenant. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. O God, may we always say and do what is right and good, wherever we live, in this country, in the land of Israel, anywhere. May we understand that you are our God. We turn to you in prayer. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. And we continue. You have blessed me with many gifts, God, but I know it is my task to realize them. May I never underestimate my potential. May I never lose hope. May I find the strength to live for better, the courage to be different, the energy to give all that I have to offer. Help me, God, to live up to all the goodness that resides within me. Fill me with the humanity to learn from others and with the confidence to trust my own instincts. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, u'lecha na'eh lehodot. We return the spotlight to Joey, who will lead us in Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. 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 Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha tasim leolam. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
With those thoughts of peace and whatever else is in your hearts, please take the next few minutes to take time for your own personal prayers, and then you'll come back. Joey will lead us in Osa Shalom. We continue with Osa Shalom.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
As we turn to the Mishaberach, I invite you, if you like, to offer in the chat the names of those who you'd like to have mentioned this evening. Or, of course, you're always welcome to keep them in your own hearts. Those prayers count too. Mishaberach avotenu Mekor habracha ve'imotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. I think this evening of Stanley Davids and Phil McBride, Katie Pope, Dr. Jane Siegel and Judy Wolfson, Philip Blackman, all those suffering from COVID-19, and all those of their families who are so worried and affected, and all those in this world who suffer in general. Mishaberach Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. I want to mention some names that came up after we continued with the second part, but should not be forgotten. Dorothy, Hillary, and Sydney Small, George's mother, his twin daughter to his surviving daughter Sarah, who died at 3 days of birth, and his father. So for now, we'll cancel the slides. So if it's possible to, okay, so thank you. All right. So by the way, in the background here, we have Josh Breslow on the slides for the first time. So thank you. I love how everybody steps up. Well, like some of you, I've been catching up on the popular Netflix series, The Crown. This series dramatizes events and personalities, relationships, pressures, and actions of the British royal family from the early decades of the 20th century. I'm up to watching the second season, and recently the episode dramatizing the investiture of Charles, firstborn of Queen Elizabeth, as Prince of Wales. The series suggests that his entire upbringing, while certainly extremely privileged, was also cloistered and weighty, with expectations, responsibilities, and strict limitations, far removed from the very people he was destined to represent. And while we may find it difficult to feel sympathy for those born with such a large silver spoon in their mouths, the series offers multiple viewpoints, including one that sees the isolation, loneliness, coldness, and constant criticism of such a life. It shows the difficulty to fit in, exacerbated by the position into which he was born. Warmth and satisfaction are often replaced in this man's life by duty to and expectations of his title. One cannot help but see in him sadness, because his very privilege and station come at the dear cost of distance from family and other loved ones, and a certain denial of personal identity. His interests and choices, from school to friends, clothing, activities, and even to a bride, would be suppressed beneath image and obligation. All this because of a twist of family fate made this young man not just another child, but heir to a nation. In this week's Parsha, we get a look at another family and the politics of family leadership. The Patriarch Jacob, who was introduced some weeks ago, had become his father's heir, not by birth order, but by a change made within the family when the birthright was switched from his brother Esau and given to him instead. Last week we read that Jacob had grown to father more than 13 children by 4 women, and explicitly that Jacob, here called Israel, loved Joseph best of all his children. He made him an ornamental tunic, which we know as the coat of many colors. And the text continues, when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of his brothers, they hated him so much that they could not speak a friendly word to him. So we learn that Joseph was raised with a special attention denied to the other children. He alone was given a clear sign of rank and love beyond that given to the others, even beyond that destined by birth order for Reuben, Jacob's eldest. What was it that was so special about Joseph? We know that he was the eldest of Rachel, who was the beloved of Jacob and who died in the childbirth of Benjamin, the youngest brother. It was for the love of Rachel that Jacob labored those 7 years and then found himself duped into a marriage with her older sister Leah, and so labored another 7 years until they could unite. In the eyes of Jacob, the children born to him by his beloved Rachel were the only ones he seemed to recognize. Another son explains in this week's Parsha some words we may not have learned in Hebrew school. He says, "My father said to us, my wife bore me 2 sons. One is gone from me, and if you take this one from me," meaning Benjamin, "and he meets with disaster, you will send my white head down to Sheol in sorrow." In other words, he will die from grief. Well, hold on. Jacob is quoted here as saying, "My wife bore me 2 sons?" But how can Jacob say, "my wife," when Jacob had 2 wives and 2 surrogates, and one being the mother of the son relaying this very message? And how can he say that he had 2 sons when the Torah is explicit in his having 12 sons? Clearly Jacob had been speaking about Joseph and Benjamin, or the brothers understood it that way, because in Jacob's eyes Rachel was his only wife, and Joseph and Benjamin, whom they bore together, were his only sons. While this may speak of love, it also speaks of why Joseph, being 7th of the brothers, was seen by his father as his true heir, and was given the coat of many colors. It was a sign of Jacob's view that it was Joseph who should be cloaked as the future leader of the family. To his brothers, especially to Reuben the eldest, this was an affront. Reuben, after all, was unquestionably Jacob's firstborn, and so understandably felt entitled to inherit the family's leadership privileges. But Reuben's firstborn rank was unrecognized by Jacob for 2 reasons. First, because Jacob never intended to marry his mother Leah. She'd been thrust upon Jacob in that bait-and-switch marriage when Jacob was intending to marry Rachel. And second, in an earlier Parsha we learned that Reuben lacks character, as demonstrated by his, shall we say, flagrant disregard for personal boundaries and family honor with his father's concubine, an act that smolders within Jacob to the time he speaks of it on his deathbed. So while the brothers recognized Reuben as their heir apparent, Jacob recognized Joseph as such. Joseph clearly took this in, which we know from glimpses into his dreams in which he envisioned himself being served by his family members. It's likely that they resented him too because of what he represented, their father's love, his attention, and his commitment. And so by the time he was an adolescent, Joseph was the target of his brothers' hatred. According to the Torah, they, as it says, could not speak a friendly word to him. They wanted him out of the picture. Reuben talked the others out of outright murder, but Judah talked them into human trafficking. One teenager to the passing Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. Emotionally, in this story we see pain from one generation being inflicted on the next. Jacob knew that he had not been his father's favorite, and was party to trickery for the birthright to Esau. Later he suffered the anguish of being tricked himself in not being able to fulfill the union with Rachel, and would have to serve those other 7 years. There was pain in Jacob's sons being discounted by their father, and that pain led to infliction of pain upon Joseph, and in so doing, infliction of pain back upon Jacob. Now fast forward to Egypt, where Joseph has matured from an adolescent who flaunted his favored status to decades fending for himself without now the support of family. In a place in which he had no prior identity, he remade himself. Despite having been hatefully rejected and cast out to the unknown by his own flesh and blood, Joseph had advanced to be Grand Vizier, having the ultimate position to take advantage upon those who so severely bullied him. But instead of demonstrating his external power, Joseph showed them his internal power, his humanity. Joseph sobbed as he revealed himself to his brothers, perhaps out of joy for the inconceivable reconnection to his family, or out of sorrow for the lost years together, or maybe for his witnessing the growth of character in all of them, himself included. He forgave them, embraced them, and spoke to them with gratitude instead of judgment. His loving kindness overtook the family's cycle of pain. Next week, our reading will recount how Jacob on his deathbed spoke to each son individually about what each had made of himself. Jacob describes his firstborn as having, by his actions, lost his status, and describes Joseph as having surpassed the blessings of his ancestors. Of Joseph he said, "Archers bitterly assailed him, they shot at him and harried him," clearly speaking of his brothers. "Yet his bow stayed taut and his arms were made firm." According to the Torah, humanity is given the power of free will, of choice. We have the choice to focus our attention on brotherhood, understanding, and working together, or on destruction, competition, and tearing one another down. As Joseph matured into an adult, he grew to be a person not defined by his power and potential for the revenge that he could inflict, but rather by his choice to offer understanding and peace and an open hand. May we each live up to this legacy. Shabbat Shalom. I have a few announcements for this evening. Our musical program is made possible by the generous support given by Edgar Snyder and an anonymous donor. We have Torah study tomorrow morning via Zoom, 8:30 a.m. As usual, Rabbi Gorbin will be leading, and then I'll continue with the informal Shabbat morning service and all of those who are participating, and that will begin at 9:15. Tomorrow evening, join us for a warm and bright Havdalah at 6:30. Those of us who will be continuing with Bereshit will meet at 10:30 on Sunday morning. There's Parsha as usual Wednesday at noon, evening meditation also on Wednesday at 6 p.m. And next weekend, our Friday services on January 1st will be at their usual time, 7 p.m. We can continue now with Aleinu, which again we invite Joey to lead. Please rise as you are comfortable.
שלא עשה גויי הארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל עמונם אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא אמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You can have a seat if you like. This week, we remember the following from our congregation: Harry Abrams, Anita Arkin, Alan N. Berman, and Sarah R. Bernstein, Michael Blackman, Benjamin Brody, William Bernkran, Daniel Burstein, S. Babe Sharap, Trina Daniels, Sarah Minnie Droz, Ida Dubar, Abraham J. Aaron Price and Randall L. Enger, Dorothy Fine and Ruth Fisher, Louis Gelman, F. Leon Gold, Ann B. Goldman and Marcia S. Groden, Jeffrey P. Hadberg, Sophie Danovitz Hirsch, Alfred Katz, Ruth Katz, Mary Leonard, Charles Lipsitz, Dr. Harry Lubeau, Irving Malkin and Annette C. Meyer, Jeanette Morris, Henry Mustin, Saul Osaki, I believe, and I apologize if there are any mistakes in my pronunciation, Nathaniel Pinsker, Lou Pohl, Rosie Pohl, Evelyn Rom, Elizabeth Libby Reed, Tamar Baum Rosenfeld, Rhoda B. Rulin, Jay Shine, Coleman Schoenfeld, Joyce Seltman, Solomon Schaefer, Edward Singer, Pauline Singer, Meyer M. Snyder, Alan Stein, Stanley Meyer Stein, Alice Strait, Avraham Tal, Harry Tannenbaum, Sophie Wine, Erwin E. Weiner, Phyllis Weisberg, Willard Weiss, Charles Lawrence Wexler. We also recall those who have recently departed our midst: Joseph Jerry Harris, husband of Elaine Harris; Toby Glynn, mother of Michael Glynn, grandmother of Alexandra Glynn; Shirley Krause, mother of Elaine Miller and grandmother of Ross Miller, Evan Miller, and Isaac Miller, great-grandmother of Will Miller; Leon Darling, brother of Mark Darling, and Thomas McIntyre. For these and anyone else for whom you might be saying Kaddish, or if it is your custom, please rise as we continue with the words of the mourner's Kaddish, Kaddish Yatom. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam le'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates peace on high, Oseh Shalom v'imru mavu ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates peace on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, and indeed to all who dwell on this earth. And we all say, Amen. So, since I was inspired by Lenore to think about mostly musical, and just with that maybe a little bit chilly, but warmth still of being indoors with all that gorgeous snow outside. At least I hope you found it to be gorgeous and not problematic. Thought it would be fun to include these words from Chiribim. This is an old Yiddish song, right? So it's and it's very participative. So please join in. Az ich will singen lecha doidi, sollst du singen Chiribiribim. Az ich will singen likrat kala, sollst du singen Chiribiribam. Lecha dodi Chiribiribim, likrat kala Chiribiribam. Lecha dodi likrat kala Chiribiribiribiribiribam. Chiribim, chiribam, chiribam, chiribim, chiribim bam bim bam bim bam. Chiribam, chiribim, chiribim, chiribam, chiribim bam bim bam bim bam. Oi chiribiribiribim bam bam, oi chiribiribiribim bam bam, oi chiribiribiribim bam bam, oi chiribiribiribam. Oi chiribiribiribim bam bam, oi chiribiribiribim bam bam, oi chiribiribiribim bam bam, oi chiribiribiribam. Az ich will singen Yom HaShabbos. I don't know where that came from, but it did come from somewhere. Sollst du singen Chiribiribim. Az ich will singen Yom Menucha. Sollst du singen Chiribiribam. Yom HaShabbos Chiribiribim, Yom Menucha Chiribiribam, Yom HaShabbos Yom Menucha Chiribiribiribiribiribam, Chiribam, Chiribim. bim, chitty bim, chitty bum, chitty bim bum bim bum bim bum, chitty bum, chitty bim, chitty bim, chitty bum, chitty bim bum bim bum. Oi chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum, oi chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum, oi chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum, oi chitty bitty bitty bum. Oi chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum, oi chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum, oi chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum, oi chitty bitty bitty bum. So I hope that warmed you up a little bit inside. And in closing, whoops, let me just say a couple words before we close this out altogether. So in closing, these words from Sidney Greenberg, great pianist, right? Not Joey this time, but another great pianist, was once asked by an ardent admirer, how do you handle the notes as well as you do? Right? We could ask Joey the same thing. But the artist here answered, the notes I handle no better than many pianists, but the pauses between the notes, that is where the art resides. In great living as in great music, the art may be in the pauses. Surely one of the enduring contributions which Judaism made to the art of living was Shabbat, the pause between the notes. And it is to Shabbat that we must look if we are to restore our lives to the sense of serenity and sanctity which Shabbat offers in such joyous abundance. We wish you all a Shabbat Shalom and a warm and bright evening. We'll see you in the morning. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Lenore.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was fun.
Thank you so much.
And it's only 8:16.
It's only 8:16.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, Carol.
Lovely service.
Nice to see you, Carol, or at least the top of your eyes, I see.
It was beautifully done, Laura.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. Thank you also for your very lovely card. I haven't had a chance to respond yet. I'm going to just stop the live stream.